You are live. All right. Stone Fruit Roll Up, day 42 of having a live show. I'm Rebecca Gunter, Stone Fruit. You're watching the show about building the show that you're watching right now. We are like in the 6 week mark of developing a live show in real time. For those of you who are new or don't really know what's going on here, I started a live show 6 weeks ago without having an inkling of a clue about what I should do to make this whole thing happen. But my business coach really encouraged me to get some more visibility. So here we are. I thought it would be a really cool idea to go meta with it and live stream all of our development meetings because surely I'm not the only person in the world who's been told you need more visibility and to up your skill set and to get out there and need to start a live show from scratch. So the timing couldn't be any more perfect for my very special guest today, Kathleen McDonald, who I've had the pleasure of working with for the last, I don't know, 2-ish years or so. She is a force to be reckoned with, and she wrangles me and my wild ideas in, pretty consistently. So I'm so excited to have her here today because I'm absolutely lost in just the workflow of it all. And I know she's going to help me out. So, number one, I started this live stream all by myself first time. And two, I'm going to try and bring Kathleen in. So, putting on my production manager hat and seeing if it's just a matter of a toggle.
It is.
The matter of a toggle. Yes, StreamYard. Womp, 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 womp. Kathleen, thanks for taking time out of your balmy Canadian experience today to join us
Thank
on
you for
Fruit
having
Roll-Up.
me.
What is the weather? I don't want to start every roll-up with the weather conversation, but you've been dealing with some insanity there up north, our neighbors to the north. What's going on in the ice storm?
We had an ice storm yesterday.
What does that mean for those of us who are in shorts right now?
You're in shorts? I'm like literally wearing like a grandma sweater. I'm so
I don't
cold.
know if I can back it up, but look, like,
oh, I'm so jealous.
I didn't want to flaunt it, so I'm just top only.
That's okay, flaunt it. Yeah, so we had an ice storm yesterday. Essentially, it's too warm for it to snow, but too warm for it to rain and like to whatever. So it like freezes. The rain comes down and it freezes and it turns to like pellets. So everything's covered in ice. We had trees come down in the front yard. There's like 60,000 people in Ottawa without power right now.
Dang, girl, you braved it all to be here on the Fruit Roll-Up.
Well, we got power, so that's good.
Wow, it was touch and go there for a minute. I almost had to go. I almost had to do a solo show on the fly, but I was going to do it. I'm happy to have you here. We've got I want to break the show up into 3 sections. Paul says I have to remember to say the audience suffers what to expect. So I'm trying to remember to do that. I've got a real set of specific problems that are related to this show that we're watching right now. And I want to get into it and just basically throw up all over you about what's going on. Then I'd love to hear your hot take about what we're going to do about this problem. And by we, I mean we, because that means you and me. So we'll really kind of handle 2 pieces of business. We'll have an awesome show about you. I'm going to tell you about my problems. I'm going to tell you all about my problems. I'm going to cry on your shoulder. Then you're going to tell me it's all going to be better. And then I really want to talk about your new project, main character, which is super exciting for anybody who's struggling like me to have a bodacious backend. Bodacious backend for my business. Does that sound good?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, awesome. Oh man, this is like brand therapy. Girl, here I am. Like, the reason I wanted to do a live show was because I could do it one time and be done with it. I didn't have to plan a ton of production. I didn't have to manage a bunch of stuff. I could show up, be myself, interview people or not, figure out what the show is like, really iterate and make it great. And that's all I would have to do. And I'm an idiot. Because that's not at all I have to do. That's not at all what I have to do. Every single show up into this one has been around video management, audio, podcasting, like writing titles, figuring out the content of the show, how to be a great host, the beauty of live stream, all of that. And while I'm absorbing, learning, trying to make each show better than the one that was the last, I've come to this impasse of absolute overwhelm around all of the things that are required to do to promote the show. I'm not having visibility just by standing up here in front of YouTube, in front of my ring light, and like talking to Wally
and Rebecca
and doing the Rebecca show. There's 12 views on each video. And if I have a guest on, the guest experience requires onboarding. It requires that they have the assets in a timely manner, like the graphic and the blah, blah, blah. Last week when Ross was on, Kathleen, like I almost went into shutdown mode with how excellent the promotion was. Like he created a LinkedIn event. He did the StreamYard stuff. He sent me links. We did a test. He like rocked. I couldn't even keep up with the great to be there. Can't wait to rock the show part of responding to the comments.
Yeah.
Dang. If I don't figure out how to asset wrangle all this stuff, then kind of like, what's the point of what are we doing? What are we doing? Yeah. However, I feel like that's just bought me a new full-time job. Now my job is to like manage the graphics and remember to post on LinkedIn. And did I create an event? And what about the snippets? And what about YouTube? And have I added it to a playlist? And all of that like day-to-day nuts and bolts to-do list that as long as you've been working with me, I've worked off of a notepad.
Yeah.
And barely like, you can drive me kicking and screaming to a sauna. So so like that's not sustainable. We have this really great apex in our evolution as a business right now, which is we have Jill business coaching. We have you on point to do the orchestration of all of the back end stuff. And, also cheerlead me on WhatsApp occasionally, which has been fucking great. We have it's also we have Assad and his team at the Ready to VA. I've got some really great coaching help right now, kind of tightening up what levers need to be pulled to marry the customer experience and like the automation stuff. Girl, like it's either we're doing it or we're not, and I think we're doing it. So
we are.
Help.
Yeah, of course. So I think first of all, you have to keep in mind that like the purpose of you starting this was actually winging it. So don't feel bad about that at the beginning. But now
we could have done this all behind the scenes. We could have launched September with a tight, ready to go produced show. But to me, that was like, what's the point?
Yeah, and I think it kind of defeats, if we did that, it would have defeated the purpose of the show. I've been dying to talk and just say my little snippet about this because you haven't let me talk about it.
Oh, sorry, girl.
So I love the friggin' fact that you like winged it and are building this live because it really is going to showcase like everything that you can do and that Stone Fruit does. Like, I remember Jill saying not too long ago that like it's not the Rebecca Gunter show. Like, what is it? Like, is it really for you or for Stone Fruit? But I really think it's for Stone Fruit because this is what you do. And this is what Stone Fruit does. And now people are getting to see it all live. So I've been waiting like 4 weeks to say that.
Oh my God. That is incredible. Thank you for that feedback. It's been a real like existential crisis back and forth between, is this the Rebecca Gunter show? Is this the Stone Fruit product? Like, what is it? I will not have any enthusiasm for the talking head interview subject matter expert presentation show. I just don't have the like seen it. And again, like Ross said last week, like that's been amazing. Quality conversations, absolutely transformative. I just want to do something Maverick, or I don't want to do it at all.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. If you're following along at home and wondering what is the show actually going to be, where I'm at right now is that it is the Stone Fruit stage, and that it can be live coaching, it can be an interview show, it can be a panel discussion, it can be something completely different. It can be like bring on an old client and do Where Are They Now? Do live copywriting, like whatever we think it should be. So picture everybody at Stone Fruit like kind of coming through with their little baton. That's where I think we're at right now. So hearing you validate that is totally in alignment with how it's shaping up organically, and I'm so glad that you see it. I'm so glad you're part of it.
Like it's amazing. You know, Stone Fruit is in the business of building amazing brands, and that's what you're doing live. So it totally makes sense to me. Jill might be like, Kathleen, but I said it, Jill.
There, I said it out loud. I don't know if anyone's talking in the comments because I'm losing my ability to pay attention to them and you at the same time. But I will make sure that if anyone is shouting us out, that I will engage with people in the comments as such. And otherwise, Jill will have to find out we're talking about her in the recording because she's recording a podcast right now.
Yeah.
You get it.
Pig later.
We'll find out later on the Google. She'll get a Google alert that you've been talking about her. Someone in Canada is pointing at the camera and saying your name. Ding, ding. All right. So how do I take this from being an adorable little project where we're all think it's so cute to actually doing something that has like meat on it? You're the champion, like the back end stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. I know you've got an Airtable you're gonna want to talk about at least.
I do have it. We will have an Airtable for it. But I know that like when you start anything as a business owner, especially a new project like this, is completely overwhelming. And there's so many moving parts, and everybody consistently feels like, well, I shouldn't say everybody, but most of the people that I've worked with feel like if they're not doing it by themselves, then it's not their business or their project. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but I think that's I can't even imagine having that mindset. Like
How
are you going to scale beyond yourself? And also, like, I don't want to learn how to become a live
everything.
Producer.
I don't want to know how to write copy. Like, no offense.
No, but exactly. Why I was just saying, I don't want to learn how to become a live stream producer. There are very talented people where that's their heart's desire, and I want to partner with them. And like you know, they're very talented people out there where copy is their heart's desire, and you're partnering with them.
Yeah.
And I'm partnering with you on this piece.
I think like the main thing to help like reduce the overwhelm is honestly just to get organized. And people have a really hard time with that. And it's just like a project plan. When's your show? What assets need to be made for it? You make your templates and just have a storage place for it, whether it be in something like an Airtable or your online cloud thingy or Canva. And you just plan it. Like, what's your show going to be about in 2 weeks? And then you start sending out your email. And then you take parts of your email and you put it on social and you advertise. Like, I find a lot of the time with business owners that like online especially is like really go, 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 go. Everything seems to be changing so much. People are really freaking high strung. I know that. I've been there. I've like used to wake up in the middle of the night to like feed the babies, and it would be like 3:00, and I'm like, okay, in the morning I got to do this, that, and the other thing. So I get it, but it doesn't actually have to be as complicated as all the advertisements online are telling you.
Well, everything you just said sounds well and good. And if that's all I had to do in my business, I feel I could rock it. But
Yeah, you could,
I,
but you
I
already have so much stuff to do. You have to, the main goal would be to hire other people to help with it.
the only way you can hire other people to help with it is to actually give them something to do. And so this is where
Yeah.
you come in. Everybody at Stone Fruit knows I have an expensive little helper I don't give any instructions to.
Yeah.
Like at all. I
Yes,
have, we're not, shout out. We're not empowering them to do anything to help us at all. That's me.
Yeah.
I'm the single point of failure on all of it. And if this is ever going to be more than just a delightful ring light illuminated,
Yeah.
circle jerk, then I've got to be able to connect all of the pieces, Kathleen, and you are the person to do that. I get there's tech. Okay, I could use an Asana board. I could use Trello. I could use a management. I could do that. I get that it's like, okay, plot out. What do I need each show? I need a graphic. I need an email. I need shorts. I need blah, blah, blah. I need all that. But orchestrating it where you're connecting with a team that actually does it instead of me being like, oh shit, we're going live on Thursday. I better come up with a show topic because that's really kind of.
Yeah.
I'm staying like 3 weeks ahead of time at most.
That's good though.
For just thematic and for graphics and for the guest, but not in terms of like posting on LinkedIn and remembering to, it'll be Saturday and be like, oh, did I put this in the playlist on YouTube? Like,
yeah,
that's no fun. So, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Kathleen Kenobi, you're my only hope. Show us what to do differently.
Like everyone? Okay.
Yeah, like everybody. Like everybody. Also, Janine wants us to know that it is Stone Fruit and Rebecca, but we know best, and she can't wait to see how it turns out. Look at me reading the comments. And Mackenzie is like, go bestie,
hey,
so proud of you. Go bestie, go bestie. That's awesome, man. Entrepreneurship can be lonely. It's so nice to have a support network.
Yeah, I have a really good support network. I'll get to your question in a second. I posted like on Instagram this morning that I was like essentially shitting bricks to do this. I never go live on anything, and I'm like, got mascara in my eye in the bathroom. I was like, gotta go do this. And I got like such a cute influx of like my entrepreneurship community going, you got it. I was like, okay.
For somebody who didn't want to do it, you sure were chomping at the bit to do it.
It's not that I didn't want to do this. I always want to do this. I just like freak out. Yeah. Okay, so to answer your question, honestly, the only thing that I really think that like you need to do to get more like organized and to like settle down about everything is I think you need to stop second guessing yourself and stop being so indecisive about things. And when we can do that, yeah, I said it. And then we can like figure out a plan. Start with one part and just go through it. Because if you don't have like a definite decision, you can't plan anything.
What do you want me to decide about right now?
Right now, I would like you to decide probably in regards to this like YouTube thing, how far in advance you would like to start promoting.
That's an awesome question. I think like 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Is that too much? Audience? No. Tony? Is that too much? I don't know. 3 weeks sounds like a reasonable cycle to get somebody kind of like get them the stuff they need. I think we all have to understand that like the guests may not be able to promote themselves effectively if they don't have the assets in advance to like get started. And even if they do have the assets in advance, the best laid plans of mice and men, sometimes you just cannot integrate it into your own promotional schedule as the guest. But it makes sense to like 3 weeks, ? Audience at home?
Yeah. Yeah, I think 3 weeks is good. So then I would start like 4 weeks before, and that like first week beforehand, making sure that all of your assets are completed and have a meeting to make sure that everybody knows when stuff has to go out and that it's done by like the
When
Friday.
you say everybody,
Like you,
who?
me, Assad,
Okay, so a regular
and
team.
Becky.
Your advice here is
Yeah.
a regular team meeting. Tony
Yeah.
wants to
To
know
make
what's this. Sorry, go ahead.
it's okay. No, I'd like a regular team meeting before like it happens. Make sure that everything's complete, everything is going out on time, everything's scheduled. People should have their waivers to say that you can use their information.
What?
The assets are being made, that they're okay with the photo that you're
Yeah,
using,
exactly.
the messaging, like
We have to come up with a theme. It's me back and forth, either text message or email. But we're like, oh, well, what should we talk about?
yeah.
And what do you think about this title? And I thought your title was just like perfectly on brand for who you are inside.
Yeah, I liked that. I thought that was really sweet. For coming up with like the names and like the topics, what I'm used to is if we're pitching to someone else to bring them on, we give them 3 different topics when we ask them. Or if someone's pitching to you, they should be giving you 3 or 4 topics that you can talk about and how that would resonate with your audience. And then you can pick one and then send them over the contract, the form. And then once that's done, then we can start planning everything out.
I assume that nothing you're saying isn't written down somewhere with your clicker pen. Like,
sorry, I'm so fidgety.
Well, you better mute yourself on that clicker pen or start making points with it. And I said another thing. So anyway, the point is that like you can say that and it sounds easy, but
Yeah.
it requires actually writing that down. And
Yeah.
it requires actually creating something you call SOPs.
My favorite.
Something you call that in order to make all that stuff happen. So the first thing I'm hearing you say is get organized. The second thing I'm hearing you say is you need a team meeting to keep all the players playing on the same page or playing from the same sheet of music, whatever analogy one you want to use. If you do not have a regular team meeting, then like all these are instructions on a Google Doc.
Yeah.
And the third thing I'm hearing you say is that there needs to be a more proactive engagement between like Stone Fruit, the show, the Roll-Up the show, and the guest, and that is around either giving them a menu of topics to choose from, it's brilliant, or being pitched.
Yeah.
I worked on this thing I want to tell you about that's around this idea. So for my client, Jen Thornton, shout out to 304 Coaching. She is a very frequent guest on podcasts, and she has a 1-pager that she sends around in advance. And we revamped that one for 2023. I'll share a copy of it, I guess, in like show notes or whatever, because it's really powerful. It's like topics that she shines at talking about, and then ways in which it would appeal to their audience. It's breaking out like a capability sheet almost, which is really neat for if you're seeking out guesting opportunities. Anyway, I digress, but there's an asset that helps, I think, with that.
It's kind of like a cover letter for podcasts and YouTube. It's like, this is how I can appeal to you and your show. And, it makes it easier to, when you have something like that, especially around your marketing planning, be like, oh, like, Jill can come on and talk about this mindset issue and this business issue, and that will align with what I'm doing, say, in January. And she's doing her launch in January,
It is at that level of forecasting 3 to 6 months out and really trying to align your interest. Yeah, aligning your interest. Jill has a mastermind coming out. Am I making sure that I'm hosting her to talk about her mastermind because maybe there are people that would really benefit from what she's going to teach there, and you're launching a new brand. How do I give space for that to have a thing?
Yeah.
And then your brand brings me in to do something, and we create these like ecosystems, or what Jennifer Crawford from Sparent would call a pod, where we're working kind of together in tandem on these different integrations of our businesses. And I think that that's really where modern entrepreneurship is going. But it takes someone like you, girl, to orchestrate all those moving pieces. Otherwise, it's all happening on a notepad. Catch as catch can. I mean, you're giving me great ideas, and I want to implement every last one of them. And I know if I don't have either a plan or a Kathleen, then there'll just be another thing in my notebook.
Yeah, it's okay. It's in my notebook. We're gonna do it.
I'm lucky that we're gonna do it, but for the folks at home that are really like struggling to do a launch, I mean, you're like articulating how to do a launch, or how to manage podcast guesting career, or how to manage a television show. You use Airtable to onboard clients. You use it to manage, launches. Manage launches. For you, it's a whole database tool. Our client Donna from Campground Accounting and other various adorable little niches, she has all of hers, like forms, intake forms, surveys, like all of it. And I think what's so cool that you've shown me is how you can present the same information a variety of different ways, and then it orchestrates all this stuff. So take a moment to like talk about why Airtable is amazing for you, or why you're going to use it to help us manage this project.
I just really love Airtable. For people who don't know what Airtable is, it's like a low-code Excel spreadsheet type thing. You can do lots of different stuff with it. And the main thing that I really love about it is the way that you can organize data into different views. So you can have list views and Kanban views and whatever you want. And
what was the middle thing you said?
Kanban is like
what's that mean?
It's just a type of view. It's where they're like the little cards and they go.
Oh, what's it called? What's it called?
Kanban? I don't know.
Learn something new every day.
That's one of the views. Yeah.
Okay.
But the reason I like it so much is because it actually holds so much information, and it's just in one single spot, which I know like lots of other places do, but I really appreciate the different way that you can view your information. Like you make different sheets, and like, I made one for you guys, and it's like, you can see what's already done. We have a sheet for what's in progress. We have a sheet for what's coming up, and then it can go all into this calendar, and it's just right there.
I'm putting you on the spot, but if we can figure out the technology, do you want to do a show and tell?
Sure.
Let's see if we can figure out the technology. Do you have a present button in your StreamYard?
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, let's do some show and tell.
What one are we going to show?
Well, you can certainly show any stone fruit you want to.
Okay.
Yeah. This is exciting. I think now I can...
Okay, let me see here. Present. Share screen. Oh, I just got really close. Sorry, guys.
It's me. I'm toggling the perspectives to give you a screen share.
Okay. Can you see this?
Yeah, let me see if I can fix this for everybody. Okay. New layout. Press Shift 5. See, folks at home. I'm running the show. Back to you in the studio. Picture in picture. Layout. Yep. Cinema layout. Press Shift 8. Seriously? Okay. We've lost a viewer in this thing. Add to stream. Oh, add to stream. Hey!
Is it up?
Yes, girl, I did it.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so
yep, I lost
this
it.
is
Hold on.
Airtable.
Yes, show us your Airtables. This is like
Okay,
New
so this is
Orleans Mardi Gras. Show us your Airtables.
And this is something that I've made for Rebecca and Stone Fruit for what I'm doing with them. So the best thing about this, I find, is it starts off as a blank sheet. So there's nothing here. And then I add a bunch of different information here. Okay. And then I've hidden some. So it just shows up like the welcome for me and my office hours. But then I made a different view, which is our calendar, where it brings all of our calls up.
This is just you and me and our calendar.
Yeah.
It's not the whole organization, right?
Correct. This is just ours. So it has like where to put attachments, videos and transcripts, the systems and everything that we have from the call, the links for you to get to. And then in order, like say you didn't want to look through the calendar and you just wanted to go to the date, the database is here of all of them and it shows the date and the time that we had it. The really cool thing about this is now we have like this information in 3 different spots, but you can see them differently. And it's hidden on the main page.
Which means that the user, whoever it is, whether it's you or a VA or me even, can access the information without being overwhelmed by it.
Oh, absolutely. And like, you know, some people like to get things like on the calendar or the database, and that's fine. So also for like our gap analysis, we have our overview that we've started, and it's done by departments and everything goes across this way. But yeah, see, it's called Kanban, whatever.
Huh.
And then and then I've also sorted it by priorities. So then it goes by what ones do we have to do first, and then which ones are second, and then our lowest priority.
And it's the reason that you're not doing this on like Asana or a Trello board because you want everything to be in one place. And Trello is only pointing you to other directions or hosting a conversation or even Slack. This is like, I want your entire business systems to be held within one central repository. And I'm going to show you all the different ways you can access it depending on the application of how you want to use it.
Yeah. So I like to use it for anything that's not currently like a live document. And I personally find it easier as like a business to have it in this one central space. So if anybody needs anything, then they can go in and take a look and they'll be able to find it.
Yeah. So in this case, Kathleen, sorry, I'm talking over you. In this case, if we built one for Stone Fruit Roll-Up, then there would be a form in there that we sent to guests that would allow them to upload their headshot and, you know, a bio if we want, or how the kind of assets they need. And then the team, when it came time to make the graphics, would be able to just go into a different interface or the same interface here in the Airtable and be like, well, I know on my to-do list I have to make a graphic, so I need show, I need the copy for it, and I need the picture, and they're already been uploaded by the guest in the Airtable itself. So it's like one place
for everything.
1,000 points of access.
Yeah, so I've made ones like started for Stone Fruit content. So the title of the episode would go here. The post information, the graphics would be uploaded here. Progress goes here. Like if it's already scheduled, written, to do, or in progress, the date that it needs to go live for, if it's completely done, and then the assignee. And then when you go to the calendar and you bring it up, you can either comment on the side to make notes for people to ping them to let them know that it's their time, or you can change the assignee. But then you can also make like a to-do list.
I need that. I mean, all this looks great, girl, for real. But if I'm not ahead of my game in the content department, then none of this is happening. And if I'm not connecting the team members, then none of this is happening. And so I want you to talk to us about like workflows and SOPs and like how do you get this out of. Here's another interesting video about a software that would probably help me if I wasn't running about like 24 hours in advance instead of 2 weeks in advance like I should be. So how do you coach an entrepreneur through that? And I do have a specific example as well that I want your thought leadership on.
Okay, so obviously we're going to need to write standard operating procedures of how to get it done.
Tell people what that is who don't know, even though everybody knows.
It's essentially a document that tells you how to do everything in your business up to the standards that you want for your business. So when you bring people on, you can spend less time telling them how to do it and give them the document on how to do it. A lot of people end up hiring for like other people to take over certain tasks, but don't have it written down, like how to actually complete that. And that's not really helpful to the people that you hire on.
Shh, Kathleen. Shh. I feel like you're talking right into my soul right now, for sure. How does any entrepreneur level up from doing all the things themselves to this kind of system? What's your advice?
My advice is when you're doing your tasks that you want to like offload onto other people, record them.
Like with a video, or
you can do like a Loom.
Mm-hmm.
Literally do a Loom, do a screen record. If you do a couple of them a day, every time you do something that's important, then you'll at least have like the videos for somebody else to be able to take over. And then it can be put into your standard operating procedures and your videos will be attached to it. And then you can offload it. But there's no point, Rebecca, and hiring people on to do tasks if you're going to have to consistently tell them how to do it. You unfortunately
you just do it yourself.
Yeah. Like you have to, instead of putting the effort in to consistently do it yourself, you have to put the effort in, like a conscious effort to be able to like put it down. So if you're going to keep doing it, just fucking record it.
I'm hearing discipline. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get disciplined or you're never going to get past this level of single point of failure is you. Congratulations, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Discipline, organization, discipline, and streamline. Like the Airtable is one single repository. Then I have a specific example that I want to ask you about.
Okay.
So Tony has graciously volunteered to train someone on how to use the software Descript so that we can get transcripts and have repurposable quality files to, have a transcript, there'll be a transcript and then you can use the files to do stuff. It's not just like plug and play. It requires some steps of service. And so he has graciously offered to train somebody on that aspect of getting transcripts for the show, which is super important. One, I'm sure would like to be able to write the blog post without having to go back and rewrite it and write hand notes on my notebook and then spend like 4 hours doing a blog post. Two, for accessibility reasons that, the deaf and hard of hearing or people who would rather read have an option to read the transcript. But it's a part of this whole big process. So Tony's question to me last night, who am I training? Am I training you, Rebecca? Am I training Kathleen? Or am I training Assad? Who's getting the training?
Assad.
And then, but that still requires SOPs and workflows, right? So that then brings someone who can write those things back into the mix.
Well, I would train Assad to do it because he'll have time to actually do it. But while the training's happening, it should be recorded. And then when it's recorded, it'll be uploaded. We can either put it into the Google Drive or the workflow in the Airtable. And then I will write out the SOPs for it, and then it'll be done. And then that'll go into the whole podcast workflow.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to be doing the transcripts.
No.
So if we're going to hire someone to do it, it should be Assad because he's already a part of the team and he can do it. And I'll write the SOPs for it because I'll have the video.
Tony, that answers your question, baby. We're going to train Assad or the VA. We're going to record the training. Yeah. And then we will reverse engineer that to the genius that is Kathleen or Kathleen type, although she's one in a cajillion, y'all. She will then write the SOPs and the workflows, and then the VA or your online business manager OBM can do the thing, and anybody else can come and do the thing because that is not the institutional knowledge has been recorded and honed, and you can iterate it as it gets going. Right.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, girl. Well, you're inspiring me, and you're inspiring me, and I'm gonna try not to be overwhelmed. But luckily, I have you on my side. I've never met anybody like you in the way that you think about business. I love to tell the story about you, Kathleen, in which I'd given away positioning on a podcast. Like, you bring me your positioning statement and I'll look at it personally. And I was like inundated by people taking me up on the offer, which generally I get like 3 people do it. I had like 25 I did in a month.
I believe that.
And they come to me, I look at their positioning statements, which, by the way, nobody had ever written it. Like, they were just giving me a blank piece of paper. We were like doing positioning in 20 minutes, really rapid fire. And when you get in positioning to the point where you like ask, why are you special, different than one? What's the reason you do this work? Why do you care? And people get super misty at that point. Like, well, I watched my mom struggle as a single mom and I wanted to make business and profitability easier for women. Like, there's always some kind of big moment.
Yeah.
And you cried talking about the who's it for your clients. Yeah. You weren't like, you didn't cry at your purpose. You cried at like, these women work so hard. They're so dedicated to what they're doing, and they want to have. In your case, it's really important to you that motherhood and entrepreneurship are not mutually exclusive. That you can be successful and a mom, whatever success looks like to you, and a mom at the same time, and you just need help to do it. So I think you have a fantastic approach. So anybody's really lucky to look. Anyone who works with you is very lucky to do so. And that includes myself.
Thank you.
And you've, over the last 6 months or so, really honed a new business model with with a very cool operating plan and strategy. So tell the kids at home about main character.
Okay, so I took a break from business after I had the babies, and I wasn't really sure if I was going to go back to it. I was like, I don't know, that's a lot of work, but I can't see myself doing anything else. But the way that I was running business before wasn't really working for me. And so this idea kind of came about because I kind of got a little tired of being the side character, I guess, in my own story. And it didn't make any sense, especially when I'm always advocating for other women to step up and be, the main character and the main role in their own lives. And I was like, I'm going to start my own business again for like the 3rd time, and it's going to be killer. And I've named it Main Character because I love it. And I'm hoping the brand's going to be kind of like 90s girls, Sarah Jessica Parker I have so many cute ideas. It's silly. But essentially, what I'm going to be doing is looking at women's businesses and doing gap analyses. Gap analyses?
That's an analysis.
But I'm going to look at the problems in their business and see where they're really struggling, where they are now, and where they ideally would like to be, and help them come up with solutions to get there.
How do you do that exactly? It's not business coaching. I'm plugging in, by the way. That's why I look so crazy on screen. I'm like, oh my God, the thing's like low battery. Your thing will shut down. I'm like, oh my God, Kathleen's just having her moment. Okay, we're charging. Have your moment.
So how do we get there? Well, essentially, I'm going to talk to people because, like, you can't do anything for anybody without talking to them.
Isn't it amazing how many consultants and coaches try and get away with not actually talking to the client very much?
I literally don't understand that. How can you help someone in their business if you don't know who they are and what their business is?
Or what they're afraid of, or what their goals are, or what's holding them back.
Yeah.
Or, you know, or.
Yeah. So I'll have a call with people and we'll go over where they are in their business and where they want to go in their business.
So like an assessment piece? So like an assessment piece?
Yeah. So we call it like a gap analysis. There we go. And we sort through things from like high to low priority to get them going. And then from there, we'll implement, I'll plan out a 90-day plan of things that need to get done over the next 90 days.
So then there's that planning stage, the strategy, or that it's based on strategy, but it's really more of a planning stage.
Yeah. So it's like, if you want to solve these issues, these are the things that have to get done to do it.
Like and this call?
Yeah. And then we will go through a phase which is called process mapping, where we will look at where your processes and your systems are from like A to Z and find the leaky buckets from our gap analysis and then figure out how we can stop those from leaking, essentially. And then once we get that all done, we go into build your SOPs so that you can hand that stuff off to someone else. So we've gone from overwhelm and leaky buckets to possibly giving it to someone else so you can focus on what you actually need to focus.
Implementation.
Yeah.
At what point in someone's business do they need to take this seriously and need someone like you? Like everybody starts as not everybody, but many of us, especially, you know, moms who are inventing careers that can work around being a mom. At what point in your development are you like, I need a Kathleen type?
I would say if you're scaling or if you're trying to sell, but I do think, honestly, even as like a beginner entrepreneur, even if you're at the very beginning stage, to start with your videos and recording stuff, because I find that like a lot of people don't take that step and then they get to, oh my gosh, I need to hire people. I need to do this. I am scaling. And now I have more work than I can handle. Like people like, what was that saying I heard the other day? It's like, it doesn't matter how many courses you take or all of like coaching and stuff, you know, everyone's telling you get more clients, get more clients, get more clients. And that's like really good, obviously. But how fucked are you going to be if you don't have all of this stuff in place before you get there? You're so busy already. And then you get like 20 more clients. And do you have time for that? No.
No.
So what's the point?
No, you do not. What is the point? Exactly. Yeah. That's why I think bootstrapping as a concept is so harmful to business development. Because if your mindset is bootstrapping, you're never going to get to the point where you need a Kathleen. You're always going to be trading money for time.
Yeah.
You're never going to be scaling. I saw a thing the other day that I thought was very powerful is like, small business or like entrepreneurship, trading your money for time versus people who are buying systems.
Yeah.
And, while every single client I've ever worked with comes back with feedback of like how much they really enjoy the interpersonal relationship, I get a ton of feedback about how crappy the onboarding is. And that shouldn't be. So like I always thought all I have to do is show up and be myself and people will love it. Well, you actually do need some sort of formalized onboarding, because if you're losing people on, day 10 and you haven't had a chance for your personality to take over that idea, then it's really hard to get out of bootstrapping mode. Janine comments that she thinks this sounds a lot like Six Sigma, which is a leadership like discipline I know a little bit about. I don't know a lot about. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but if you are, then you're channeling it, and if you're not, then you're thinking like some pretty innovative leadership style. So good on you.
Thanks.
Good on you. Wow, amazing. How does Kathleen need to heal thyself? That's a kind of off-ball question, but in what ways do you kind of need to heal yourself with your own methodologies? How are you personally struggling for implementation?
Oh my God. Well, that is a loaded question.
Sorry, girl. Like,
no, that's
so
okay. But it's like people like to pretend like they don't have their own problems in their business when
I
it's
don't
like
write
their
blog
thing.
posts consistently. I don't send emails consistently. It takes me forever to update my website. I'm not, you're a marketing person. I guess like you, we all the busman, what is it? The cobbler's children have no shoes. It always is showing up for us too. We're so much better for our clients than we are for ourselves. I don't know why we treat ourselves so badly, but I was hoping you'd share a little bit of your own insight without feeling like I've attacked you.
Oh, I never feel like you've attacked me.
Okay, good.
I guess the way that I need to heal myself is I don't end up implementing a lot of stuff in my own business because it requires a lot of visibility. And that makes me really uncomfortable. So, like, I put off launching my first business for like a year because I didn't like photos. I didn't like my photo taken at all. It took me like a really long time. So I didn't have a proper website. I absolutely got in my way. Never would do Instagram anything lives because I was afraid people would judge my space. And it just was like, well, if I'm not doing all these things that I know I'm supposed to do, then what's the point in implementing all this other stuff? Because it's just so much work to not actually show up. And then honestly, like after I had the twins, I was just like, screw it.
Now or never.
Yeah, I think you're just like, screw it. This is my space, and this is my face, and this is my weirdness. And if
this
you
is
don't
my pen.
like it,
this is my pen.
Sorry. I don't know. Something just happened after the twins where I just don't care anymore on that level about being judged. And it's made it easier to take the steps to implement things in my business because I'm not so afraid to be imperfect.
I think that is a beautiful evolution and a story that all of us can relate to. The story of this show is about me not wanting to be visible or not being visible, whether I wanted to or not, just not doing it. Just being like, I'm not ready. I don't have enough products out there yet, so you're speaking right to my heart. I'm so glad you braved the big, divide of visibility versus invisibility. And I think supporting characters deserve the spotlight too. So tell the people at home where they can find you.
Currently, you can find me on Instagram. I'm in the process of switching everything over to my new brand, but you can find me at KathleenMcDonald.ca.
I love that. I can't wait to see this brand come to fruition, y'all. It's hot. It's hot.
It is super cute. And I have to say, I have somebody who is writing some really bomb copy for me. So
That's the beauty of the ecosystem. That's the beauty of the pod. Am I right?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want the folks at home to know as we round out our show today?
I guess just like doing it all can be really hard. Like, especially when we're consistently bombarded about like these stories of success and like courses you need to take to be successful. And, you know, everything is an ad right now. I guess my thing is just like to know that whatever you're doing and wherever you are is like literally enough, and you will get where you need to be. Stop stressing about like 6 months down the road. Take a breath and just take it one little piece at a time. And it doesn't have to be so friggin' complicated.
That is the soundbite of the century. Beautiful.
Well, you're welcome.
I feel seen, and I know other people feel seen as well. Overcomplicating things is a prison of your own making. And thank you for showing us the key today, Kathleen.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Oh my God, you were absolutely amazing. I hope you will come back again.
100%.
We'll be doing a reunion show in June where I launch whatever the show is. I'm going to do a presentation for the brand, and I'd love to have you back on that reunion show, which we're calling 21 Fun Salute.
Oh, I love that.
Hilarious. Next week, I will not be here, you guys. Jilly and Tony are taking over the live stream. I'll be in Florida visiting my bestie, Michelle, and they're taking over the live stream with something completely different. Get ready for UK all day, where Tony's going to drill Jilly on all things merry old England. And this beautiful spring day. I hope things warm up for you, Kathleen.
Me
and
too.
You can embrace the springtime as we are in the lower 48. Thank you for coming and being a part of what we're building here. And thanks for helping me figure out this problem. I look forward to the Airtable.
Thank you for always allowing me to be a part of your business. It's been an absolute pleasure over the past couple of years to see everything that you've made, and I'm really honored to be a part of it.
Girl, let's just make out right now. All right, I'll see you at our next regular meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Kathleen. Bye.